crowd gasped, then screamed, not because a model tripped or a celebrity walked in late, but because he appeared. Amidst a storm of flashing cameras, a familiar figure stepped out of a sleek black car, his silhouette cutting through the autumn air of Paris. The voice of the crowd rose like a wave. Open quote, Jimin, echoing through the historic Tuileries garden, close quote. It had been months since anyone had seen him like this. No uniform, no camouflage, no headlines about duty. Just Jimin, BTS's Jimin, the global ambassador of Dior, the man who turns every glance into a story and every step into art. And this moment, it was electric. After completing his military service, this was his first official public appearance. But instead of choosing something quiet, Jimin chose one of the most powerful stages in the world, Paris Fashion Week. That night, Paris didn't belong to Dior or to the cameras or even to fashion. It belonged to him. He appeared in a sleek black blazer and fitted leather pants, the look perfectly balancing sophistication and rebellion. His hair, effortlessly styled, glowed beneath the lights as if the city itself had been waiting for him to return. He didn't rush. He didn't pose nervously. He simply walked, calm, radiant, and self-assured. Every inch of him carried the quiet power of a man who had changed, matured, and come home to himself. The photographers went wild. Flashes popped like fireworks. Yet Jimin never broke composure. That small smile, that subtle tilt of his head, it was enough to send hearts racing and fill the air with a kind of anticipation only he could create. Open quote, BTS's Jimin returned to Paris for his second Dior show after completing his military service, close quote. The next morning, TF1, one of France's leading broadcasters, opened its news segment, not with politics or the economy, but with Jimin. The anchor said, open quote, his fans are still enthusiastic, close quote. Still enthusiastic? They were overwhelming. Outside the venue, hundreds of fans lined the gates, waving banners, calling his name in every language imaginable. Some had traveled from Korea, others from across Europe. For many, this wasn't just a fashion show, it was a reunion. The first glimpse of the Jimin they had missed for so long. Inside, the energy was no less intense. Even surrounded by global icons, Brigitte Macron, Charlize Theron, Johnny Depp, Jimin stood out. Not because he tried to, but because he simply did. Gala, a major French magazine, featured him in its top highlights, calling him open quote, the serene star whose presence elevated the entire atmosphere. Numero placed his photo under the headline, Stars of the 2026 Spring-Summer Fashion Week, close quote. But beyond the clothes and the cameras, there was something deeper about that night. This wasn't just Jimin the idol. It was Jimin the man, the artist who had endured, grown, and returned with a renewed sense of grace and grounding. The world had seen him through the discipline of military life. Now, it was seeing him bloom again, with a new aura, strong, calm, and irresistibly magnetic. Every gesture, every smile seemed to say, open quote, I'm back, and I'm better, close quote. People often call Paris the city of light, but that night, it felt like every light in Paris was reflecting off Jimin. The runways shimmered, the flashes never stopped, and yet he looked perfectly at ease. As though he belonged there, as though Dior itself had been waiting for him. It was poetic, almost cinematic. The boy who once sang about love and pain, now standing as a global fashion icon, his mere presence enough to make an entire city hold its breath. And when the show ended, the applause wasn't just for Dior's designs, it was for Jimin. The crowd outside roared again as he waved, his smile soft yet powerful, before disappearing into the Parisian night. In that moment, one truth became clear. This wasn't just a celebrity appearance. It was a statement, a comeback defined not by noise, but by silence, style, and soul. Jimin didn't just walk into Fashion Week. He owned it. He didn't just return to Paris. He reminded the world why it fell in love with him in the first place. And as the lights dimmed and the city returned to its usual rhythm, one lingering question echoed through the hearts of everyone who saw him. Open quote, how can one person make Paris shine brighter than ever before? Close quote.